Ever dreamed of finding a hidden treasure in your wallet? Well, you're in luck. In this video, we're going to be showing you some really bizarre banknotes that not many people know what to look for. We're going to go over everything. These super rare factory errors are out of the ordinary, but they are a prize to any collector. So grab your stash of cash and join us on this exciting hunt for looking for error notes that are worth a ton of money, much more than their face value. So the first note we're going to be going over is the front of this $2 bill. We have a whole video on $2 bills, so I'm not going to go into it too much, but just know the US still produces $2 bills today. That is right, they're not as rare as you may think. However, this example sold for $9,300. Now when it comes to printing paper money, I've had the luxury of having a ground floor tour at the Bureau of Engraving and Printing where they make paper money. So when it comes to printing, the back of the bill is actually the first print. When that is dry, they flip it over to the front and produce the front of the bill. Everything that you see here on the front is considered to be the second print. Now when we go over to the back, you're going to see the overprint. That should not be there on the back, but just understand the overprint is the third and final print when it comes to paper money. So that print is accidentally overprinted on the back, which makes this note really, really rare. Also understand, an error like this is impossible to replicate. I can't sit there and reproduce this error to make it seem like a genuine error, if that makes sense. That's also why third-party grading companies like PCGS and PMG are so important to the hobby. Just know if you come across anything like this, don't fold it, because as soon as you fold your bill, you're pretty much folding the value in half. Every fold, every nick, every gash, every tear, stain, pinhole, all of that will decrease the value of your note. So keep them very safe, very flat. $9,300 for that one. All right, $13,800. Now this is a pretty beat up note, and it's a 2017. Keep in mind, 2017 notes were produced in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, and so forth. Just because the series of your bill says a date on it does not mean that's the only year it was produced. I hope that makes sense. But what's really cool about this note is the fact that it was out there in pocket change. People used this note. They had no idea what to look for. They completely missed it. Now, obviously, this tricked a lot of people, or else it wouldn't have been this beat up in condition. Now, if you haven't noticed already, it really is a subtle detail. Let's look at the top right serial number. It says 56818, okay? Looking at the bottom serial number, not only is there some misaligned serial numbers, but also the number is very, very different. It says 770306. That's a lot different than the top right serial number. These serial numbers should always be identical. No ifs, ands, or buts. This is a mismatched and misaligned serial number, a very collectible error, something very, very unique. And I'm telling you right now, if the condition was better, if people knew what to look for, this would have sold for a lot more money. So leave a comment down below right now. Have you learned something from the Old Money Prices YouTube channel? And let's hop into this next note, which is another $2 bill. We'll be brief on this one, but the overprint is doubled. So the overprint got struck twice. When the overprint comes down, there's a mechanical reaction that does happen that changes the last digit automatically. So you can see the first strike was the 4, and then when it came down again, it had already flipped to an 8 and came down another time. Because there's doubled overprint error on this bill, it sold for $16,800. Please don't ever buy one of these unless it's certified, because there are a lot of scammers on eBay right now trying to sell this error, but they just replicated it in their printer. Be very careful out there, guys. A lot of bad actors. $24,000 for this note. So there's a few things going on with it, but I'll focus on the main area, which is the fact that it is a mismatched suffix error. So the prefix is the first digit in the serial number. The suffix is the last digit. So you can see the bottom left serial number ends with a star. The top right serial number ends with an L. Very collectible, very rare. $24,000 it sold for. Here's one of my favorite types of errors. This $5 bill sold for $44,400, and here's why. So it is an older bill. 1934 is around the time they first started producing these small size bills. Technically speaking, 1928 was the first year of issue. I digress. This is really, really collectible, mainly because of one key feature, guys. I'm holding it for a little bit, but I can't quite hold on much longer to it, because when you're looking at the front of this $5 bill, there's not much going on. The condition's really nice. There are no folds on the bill. You got the 65 grade. However, when you flip it over to the back, you'll notice it is a $10 bill. This is what we call a dual denomination error. You got a 5 on the front and a 10 on the back. One of my favorite types of errors, guys. One day it's my goal to own one of these notes. However, it's going to take me a very, very long time to find one of these, because the value is so high and they are so hard to come by. Some people will even joke and say, hey, it's a $15 bill, but please don't spend anything like this, because you could be throwing away over $44,000 if you did so. Now, this note makes the previous note look like nothing. This one sold for $396,000. That is a crazy, life-changing amount of money for this banknote. So I've had the pleasure of actually seeing this note in hand. There are not many people that have actually been able to hold something like this. It used to be in a PCGS graded holder, but today it is in a PMG holder. So back in the day, this note has been around for a very long time. Obviously, it's in 1996. It sold in auction for a few times. I remember when it sold in auction for $20,000 about. I don't remember exactly the price on it, but you can clearly see there's a Del Monte banana sticker on it. As we know, the back of the bill is the first print. The second print is the front of the bill. So after the second print, before it got the third and final print, which is the overprint, someone had the bright idea of putting a banana sticker right there on this note. This is arguably one of the most iconic and collectible banknote heirs in existence. Very collectible, very cool, very awesome $20 bill out there. And I will say this, if you ever find a retained obstruction, retained meaning the piece of object is still there, do not remove it. Keep it with the item, because let's just say someone had the idea of peeling that sticker off of the note. That's just game over. It kind of pains me to even think about it, because the fact that the Del Monte sticker is there and you know what it is makes it such a cool heir. It's kind of hard to wrap your mind around a banknote being worth $396,000. However, this is what it sold for, and keep your eyes peeled for anything like this, because something like this is life-changing money. Now, if you want to learn more about coins and paper money, we have a completely free collector's coin and currency ebook down below. Check that out. We will see you guys in the next video.